Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. Welcome back to another ramen instant noodle taste test. If you've missed the videos from this series, like always, I will put the link to the playlist down below. Today, I'm going to be tasting an instant ramen noodle that touts itself as being nutritious. Instant noodles that are nutritious, it says. And they were very kindly sent to me by lovely Helen and Addy. Thank you guys so much. Little Addy has been watching my videos for a long time now. Addy included a little care package for my kiddos that included a post-it note that describes the contents of this package. Addy. Yes, girl, yes. Butterfly stickers. Addy, you absolutely remind me of what I might have been like around your age. In fact, let me go grab my sticker book and show you what I mean. This, twinsy brains, yes, let me go get my sticker book. I still have it, I do, just wait. Here it is. Yes, this is my sticker book. This is gonna be a glimpse into the mind of a baby Emmy. Let me show you. Now, for some reason, I thought this would be a good idea to take one of these cooking bags, you know, the ones that you use to cook a turkey. I thought this would make it extra special by taking that turkey bag and taping it to the outside of my binder to make it more special. I guess this is like DIY version of lamination, right? Okay, let me show you this. Oh, look. And because I wanted to dress up the pocket on the inside, I used a business size envelope and, you know, affixed it to that. And here are my giant stickers, you know, my Disneyland Electrical Parade, Lisa Frank, yes, Lisa Frank, some other things, decorative bags, more giant stickers. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, Addy. Yes, do we see some similarities here? Yes, I do. I know this says best wishes, but it's a giant sticker, so I had to have it. You would purchase these on a roll, like the Grossman stickers. You know what I'm talking about? Yep. More Lisa Frank. Large double unicorn in a heart shape. In this plastic bag here, I had some slick paper, so if I ever traded stickers that didn't have any paper on them, which I preferred, I could put them on this paper and then cut them out. It's always good to be prepared. I went through a big fuzzy sticker stage. Now these have since all come off, but I had them organized by Christmas, forest animals, farm animals, let's see, bears, teddy bears, cats, look, all bits of tape here, dogs, because it's really, really fun to sort and organize your stickers. Forest animals, jungle animals, holidays, big fuzzy foot sticker. All right, so that was that. And then I had, you know, my holographic stickers. Look, this isn't that old photo paper stuff. I don't even know where I got these pages from. Oh, giant stickers. My dad would always bring home these giant stickers for me. Teddy bears. These bookmarker stickers. I love those. I was really into unicorns and Pegasuses. Pegasi? I think Pegasus might be a Greek word. So the plural of Pegasus would probably be Pegasuses, like octopus. So the plural of octopus is actually octopuses. Most people think, oh, it's octopi. It's not, because it's Greek. This is what my son taught me. I think Pegasus might be in that same family. At any rate, more stickers that are coming out of their binder. Little twin stars, the Oilies stickers. Yeah, I traded for all those. Do they even make these anymore? These were my favorite. These were also my favorites, the ones that you could actually make a snowman. I, of course, never would do that because they're way too precious to take them apart, but I love those ones. I traded for those ones too. Addy also included glow-in-the-dark stickers for my Rugrats, and she made an origami heart and ninja stars. These were my favorite to make. I remember being so proud and being able to connect the pieces to make these ninja stars. Thank you so much. And Helen, thank you so much for raising such a lovely child and for sending me these. And these are nutritious instant ramens. Now, I first heard about this style of ramen noodle in an article that I shared on social media, and it was in Japan. And I believe the manufacturer is Nissin, and they've created instant noodles that are supposed to be more nutritious and healthy. Those particular ones contained about 1/3 of your daily recommended amount of vitamins. So that was interesting, right? This idea of convenient food that might actually be good for you. Now this brand I thought was pronounced Vite Ramen, but when I did some research, it's actually pronounced Vite, like bite. I think it's supposed to be like an abbreviated version of vitamin. Contains 25% of your essential vitamins and minerals, 25 grams of complete protein, which is quite a lot, and no artificial preservatives or frying. Apparently these noodles, because they're instant noodles, have to be desiccated or dried out, and typically that would be done by deep frying. That also adds a lot of flavor, but also a lot of calories. These ones are apparently microwaved to dehydrate them, so they don't have that added fat. I'm kind of skeptical, to be honest, to see how that's going to taste, because I feel like that fried component is a really huge part of the flavor of instant noodles. I love instant noodles. I don't eat them often. They remind me of after-school snacks, eating with my brother, making mushi mimi. All of these references will be in that instant ramen playlist if you want to learn more of what I'm talking about. And yeah, I'm skeptical because in my mind, I never think of something being nutritious and healthful when I think of instant ramen. So it comes in 3 different flavors: the vegan mushroom shio in Japanese means salt, and garlic pork, and there's one more that is a chicken flavor, soy sauce chicken, I believe. And soy sauce flavor, of course, would be a take on the traditional ramen flavor of shoyu. So based on the flavors, it does seem like they're acknowledging the tradition of Japanese ramen noodles, which incidentally are in Japan served fresh. You go to a ramen house, they make fresh noodles, and they make 3 general flavors or styles. Tonkatsu, which is a milky, very rich, kind of sticky on your lips broth that is pork based. Then there's shio, which is salt. It has a clearish broth, salty of course, and shoyu, which is a soy sauce based, darker brown in color, of course tasting like soy sauce. So I don't have the third one, but that's the other flavor. Now these are manufactured in the US, which I appreciate, made in the USA, and they were the brainchild of twin graduate students from UC Davis, and I'm very curious to see what they're like. And there are very specific instructions on how to cook these. We cook them for 2.5 minutes, and then you take it off the heat before adding the flavor packets, which includes a nutrient packet, which makes sense because we don't want to denature our nutritious vitamins. And then we slurp away. So these are not available in stores. You must order them online. And Helen says she won't be ordering them again in the future because her family is sensitive to MSG, and that the next incarnation of these are going to be containing MSG rather than yeast extract. From my understanding, I thought yeast extract is just another word for MSG. I don't know, food scientists, chime in, let me know, is there a marked difference between yeast extract and MSG? If so, what is it? Is one chemically derived versus naturally derived? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you. All right, so let's cook these up, shall we? I'm gonna add 2.5 cups of hot water. Let's cook the garlic pork one first because that one sounds most similar to a meat style, savory style instant ramen noodle. Now these noodles are made from wheat and quinoa. That is why they contain so much protein. And quinoa is a very interesting grain because it is composed of a complete protein. There is nothing missing. Most proteins that come from soy and say beans are missing some essential B vitamins, but quinoa does not. One of my criteria for great tasting ramen is how many packets it contains. This is the nutrient packet. This looks like it's a canola oil. That's good. I always like a flavoring oil in my ramen, instant ramen. And here's the soup base, and here are the little vegetable pieces. So the only thing you put in the water are the noodles. As a latchkey kid, my brother and I would often make mushi mimi, which was our little version, actually I think my mom invented it, of ramen noodles that were cooked just oblivion until they were completely mushy with shredded zucchini. I know it sounds terrible, but it was absolutely delicious. One of our favorite things growing up. Occasionally we would eat cup of noodles as well. My favorite thing was to open it and to fill the water precisely to the fill line. That was always so satisfying. And I always liked the dehydrated scrambled eggs. I thought those were so weird. Sometimes I would eat them raw before I even poured the water in. They were so weird and spongy, but covered in that bouillon. It was, yeah, you know what I mean. You ate those too. Okay, timer done. Turned off the heat. Vegetable blend. Oh, don't add the bag. Not good. Lots of soup base. The canola oil. I smell garlic. In Japan, they all usually have layu, which is this chili oil. I always would put that on top. Now I'm gonna add the nutrients, which is, ooh, the nutrients smell funky. Add those in there. It smells gingery. Itadakimasu. Definitely a different texture than instant ramen noodles. I like that they're not mushy and they're not overcooked, but there is kind of a springiness or a bounciness that's missing. And I think that has to do with the quinoa, I suspect. All right, let's try the broth. Yeah, there's definitely less sodium in these noodles, and that could be a good or bad thing for your health. It's definitely a better thing, but I'm missing that really intense kind of saltiness of instant noodles. The flavor's okay. I think what I'm really missing is that really great chewiness that comes with some great instant noodles. For example, some of the samyang instant noodles or some of the Korean style instant noodles, I really love the chewiness of the noodles, and this doesn't quite have that. I think the broth could be more punchy too. I think there could be more variety. I like the little bits of vegetables in there and toppings. That reminds me definitely of instant noodles. Let me try adding some green onions, which I typically like to add to my instant noodles to kind of brighten things up. Here's a little tip. I love chopping a bunch of green onions and then just putting them in a container and keeping them sealed up in the fridge. I learned this in Japan, where you can actually at the grocery store buy a container of pre-sliced up green onions. They last for a few days, but they brighten all your meals. It gives you beautiful color on top of an omelet, even inside of a sandwich. A little bit of green onion, it's just better, okay? Let's try this with onion now. Definite improvement. But yeah, I still feel like there's something kind of missing in here though. Whether it's the amount of salt, or I think it's probably more the MSG that I'm missing. That kind of just, I can't get enough of itness. And I'm a little underwhelmed by the canola oil. I thought that little bit of garlic oil would really kind of pep this up, kind of similar to a mee goreng. I love that bit of really intensely flavored oil. It really doesn't do that much in here. This is garlic pork, but I don't taste that much garlic either. Or a really intense porkiness. Although I don't taste any of the nutrients, or there is no kind of medicinal flavor, but maybe that little aftertaste I'm talking about, the yeast, comes from the nutrients. Maybe that's what's giving me that kind of aftertaste. It's not unpleasant, it's just a little different. Let's try the vegan mushroom shio. Same noodles, and this one contains 3 packs as well. In go the noodles, these scraps in there. Now that I've given it some thought, remind me a little bit of instant soba noodles, which are buckwheat noodles. So one thing I'm kind of missing, which I didn't even know I would miss, is on this packaging, there's no kind of fun logos or labels or printing or anything like that, which I never really thought about, but all the instant ramens have some kind of patterning. They're not just a foil packet. It just says like chicken flavor, chicken flavor, chicken flavor, or something on it, but there's some kind of printing. Ooh, to kind of distinguish each package instead of this really kind of generic printing of just what they are. This seems so, I don't know, Soylent Green, just like soup base 1181, nutrients 11081, and I'm sure there's a reason for this, and I'm sure the other packets have these same kind of notes at the bottom, but something about the color, I'm just like, oh, I always remember beef packet being red and chicken flavor being orange. There's just something about the color that just makes it, I don't know, more fun. Okay. Details like that, you don't even realize you're programmed to notice until they're gone. Get every little bit of that in there. And I'm gonna top this with green onions. Just make it beautiful. So here's the vegan mushroom shio. Very gingery. And the broth looks a little bit clearer than the pork version. So let's taste that first. Here we go. That's definitely more gingery. This too has that aftertaste. I think that might have to do with the nutrients. It kind of, not quite metallic-y, but some kind of aftertaste that I'm not really familiar with. All right, and I'm gonna take my first bite without the green onions. Itadakimasu. This one too, I feel like has just something kind of missing. And that oftentimes that magic thing is monosodium glutamate, which is delicious. Glutamates, by the way, are naturally occurring. You find them in things like mushrooms, seaweeds, but of course then they're extracted and isolated into something called MSG, monosodium glutamate. Glutamates give food that really delicious, savory, salty, sweet, addictive flavor that is just so stinking good. And we don't realize how much of it is included in processed food, including instant noodles. But I actually can taste ginger in here. I can taste salt and a bit of sugar and onion powder. I don't really taste any of the mushroom though, although I think there's a piece of it right there. In terms of flavor, these noodles are fine. They're definitely more of an instant noodle. They don't seem instant ramen-ish to me. Instant ramen is kind of along the lines of a frozen pizza for me. It just is this specific place of just nostalgia and comfort and remind me of particular times of my life in college and after school. While this superficially might look like your typical bowl of instant ramen noodles, this definitely is not. And in some respects, it's not trying to be. This is trying to be nutritious. It's trying to be a little bit more healthful in terms of having more protein in it. The texture is not like instant ramen noodles. The noodles in this packet are just like the noodles in the other packet. They're not as chewy. There's kind of a strange kind of bite to them. These are not as concentrated, the broths, and these are not as salty, and they don't have that addictive MSG quality to them. There's also just no punchy flavors. There's no intense garlic flavor. There's no intense chili flavor to them. They're just kind of, Alrighty, so there you have it. The Vite Ramen Nutritious Noodles. How are they? Meh. In terms of flavor and profile and such. So is it a more nutritious noodle? Certainly, you just have to read the back of the packet and read the statistics. It certainly is. Is it more tasty? It isn't. Is it better for you? Probably. So there you have it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Please check out the ramen playlist so you can see my other instant noodle taste tests, including the really fiery hot ones and my mushy mimi video I did with my dear brother. And yeah, big thanks to Helen and Addy for sending me this care package and allowing me to taste the Vite ramens. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite instant noodles are. And yes, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. It really helps me out. Follow me on social media. I do giveaways and such. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Losing my mind just a little. Why am I singing that song? Because my voice sucks.